Hey guys, and welcome back to another 2K rebuild today. We have to do Kawhi Leonard in the Toronto Raptors. I'm a little bit late on this. I've had a little issues with some audio, but we should be all fixed. And now we get to play with the new Kawhi Leonard-led Toronto Raptors. Of course, Kawhi, he's pretty much going to leave after the next season. But if we can re-sign him, we may have the opportunity. Who knows? He's ineligible, unfortunately, so he is probably going to be going into free agency. But that's pretty much what's going to happen in real life anyway. So Kawhi Leonard, Valanciunas, and Kyle Lowry are the big three that we have. Kyle Lowry is getting paid an absurd amount of money, so you may even look at moving him. But the bench on this team is really what shines through. I mean, they added Danny Green, Norman Powell, even down to Lucas Nogueira. This team is very, very deep. Fred VanVleet is really good. Pascal Siakam, DeLon Wright, OG Anunoby. So this team, I expect to compete for the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference. Of course, if Kawhi Leonard is playing at full strength. If he wants to play, first of all, and if he is completely healthy, as the Spurs doctors said. But here will be the lineup for this season. Danny Green's going to actually move into the starting lineup. Of course, Kyle Lowry, Kawhi, Serge Ibaka, and Valanciunas will be rounding out the starting five with DeLon Wright, Siakam, VanVleet, and no, I want to get rid of CJ Miles. I'm going to lower the minutes on all of these guys, and I'm going to get those minutes to OG Anunoby because I want him to develop this season. Plus, he's better than CJ Miles anyway. But, oh, I nearly forgot. I need to fire Dwayne Casey because that's exactly what they did. And I'm going to find a decent coach. I'll do Lucas. But then we should be good to go. My overall expectations for this team are somewhat high because the Raptors, they made this trade. They gave up on DeMar DeRozan. They are hoping that they can pull a Paul George scenario and possibly woo Kawhi Leonard to stay with the Toronto Raptors. He's voiced that he's not happy about it. DeMar DeRozan over on San Antonio is not happy about it either. So we're going to have to see how this plays out. But either way, guys, let's go through season #1 and figure out how good this team truly is and see if Kawhi Leonard is going to re-sign with Toronto. Guys, we dominated the Eastern Conference, 55-27 here at the end of the season awards. Kawhi Leonard did very, very well this season. All-NBA second team. Let's take a look at his career stats. 22, a bit of a drop off in scoring, but 5 assists, 2.5 steals, and a block. So really up in all his averages. Better shooting percentages than most of the time, 39% from 3. Less scoring, but more creating off the ball. So happy about that. No other Raptors. Of course, Kawhi on the all-defensive team. No surprise there. And we were the 2nd seed in the Eastern Conference. Philly actually got the #1 seed. But let's take a look at those conference standings real quick. We were only a game behind them. They went 56-26 with this insane lineup. Of course, Dario Saric and Wilson Chandler coming off the bench for them. But I'm really happy with how this team performed. It's unfortunate that Kawhi is ineligible for contract extension. Kyle Lowry with 15 and 7 with 2 steals. Jonas Valanciunas put in 15 and 9 as well. Serge Ibaka with 11. Danny Green with 8 and 3. Siakam, DeLon Wright, Fred VanVleet, and OG Anunoby also giving us some production off the bench. So, we're facing Chicago in the playoffs with Jabari Parker, Wendell Carter, and Lowry Markkanen. This team always does so well in these simulations. I'm not exactly sure why. But we should have no problem taking care of them in round 1. And we're going to go up against Indiana. So Boston upsets Philly. I don't know how Boston was the 8th seed, but we're going up against Indiana. Victor Oladipo. They now have Nicholas Batum and Tyreke Evans. So another very deep team. This may cause us a little more trouble, but we take care of them in 5. And we're facing Boston in the conference finals. Golden State loses to Utah with Donovan Mitchell, surprisingly. So if we're able to make it to the finals and beat Boston, that we'll have a pretty good shot of beating Utah in the finals. So we sweep Boston on our way to the finals, and we are facing Houston. Joe Johnson now in the starting lineup for them. The exact same team. 1-0 for us. They tie it up 1-1. We take game 3. They tie up game 4. And game 7. Here we go. Let's go into Simcast for this. Let me go fast. Okay. Man, this is a close game. We're up at halftime. They're taking the lead slightly. Wow, this is a really intense game. We pull away, and that is going to be a title in the first year of the Kawhi Leonard, the only year of the Kawhi Leonard Toronto experiment. We win a NBA championship. 37 rebounds, 4 assists, 2.5 steals, and a block per game. Wow, in our only season with Kawhi, we end up taking the title. That's actually very surprising. I knew we'd probably make it to the conference finals, but to win it all, beat a team like the Rockets, that's pretty impressive. But unfortunately, this is the off-season where we sort of lose out on what we just accomplished. Kawhi is going to go into free agency, and I don't even know if we're going to be able to have the cap space to re-sign him. Toronto, the Nets get our pick. The Brooklyn pick turns into number 6. And we are looking pretty good. I want to sign a good scout to get our training camps. And we can move right through past rookie signings into the team and player options. Okay. We have no options. Nerlens Noel declines. A couple of older players decline. So we'll have to see who is available in the free agent market. Kawhi Leonard, yeah, we don't have the cap room for him. But let me see if we have any cap holds. Kawhi Leonard, we'll keep him on a cap hold. Let's see if we could possibly re-sign Kawhi Leonard. As we can offer him the max, and the Raptors will most likely do that with since they have the bird rights to him. So we'll offer that to Kawhi, and we pretty much can't do that to anybody else. So let's sign Kawhi Leonard back. Let's see how Kawhi Leonard rejoining Toronto would do. We'll go through this like a Paul George scenario. So there is that. We should be able to keep Kawhi Leonard. And there we go. So Kawhi Leonard's back on a max contract. 5 years. He gets up to $40 million near the end of his contract. So let's see how this will go. He'll be 32 at that point, and we can always trade him away. Besides that, we're keeping pretty much our whole core intact. Kyle Lowry, Valanciunas, and Kawhi. So we can actually just go right through to player progressions. OG Anunoby, Siakam, Van Vliet, they all should be going up, and they do. Valanciunas up. Everybody's going up except for Danny Green, who we may need to ship out. Maybe we can get a good backup shooting guard for him. But everybody's going up. So let's use our training camps, and if we're primed like we were last season, we should be able to go back-to-back, make it to the NBA Finals. Alright, let me load in the draft class real quick. I honestly did not expect this team to be able to beat Houston. The stacked Houston team that even in 2K, they don't play the way they do in real life. But they're still one of the best teams possible out here. So let's use OG Anunoby on an untapped potential camp. And let's use one on Fred Van Vliet as well. Because we're giving him $9 million, we might as well bump up his potential as much as we can. So again, the exact same starting lineup. I actually want to go through, or first of all, DeLon Wright is going in the starting lineup. Danny Green, your minutes are getting lowered. And this honestly should be good. This should be good for our second season. I actually want to take a look at some trade offers for Kyle Lowry. He's going to be 34, and seeing if we can get a better young point guard could help us in the next couple years. Kemba Walker is only on a 1-year contract. Andrew Wiggins, but we'd have to give up Siakam. CJ McCollum is available. But we'll stick with Kyle Lowry for now. If we're not doing so good at the trade deadline, I'll bring you guys back and make a move. So clearly we have had a bit of a drop-off. We've already nearly lost as many games as we did the entirety of last season. We're currently 8 games back in our own division, and in the conference we are 4th behind the Magic with Romeo Langford and Mo Bamba, and the Knicks with Zion Williamson and Kevin Knox. So of course, Philly's #1. Not surprised at that at all, but I'm surprised that Indiana's down. Boston is down with this team. Washington, Milwaukee is out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, Milwaukee is out of the playoffs. The Cavs, well, I'm not surprised, but the Pistons are out. I mean, there's a little some wacky stuff going on here. The Spurs are out with DeMar DeRozan. Anthony Davis is out of the playoffs right now. Devin Booker, Bull, and DeAndre Ayton are 17 games below 500. And Dwayne Bacon and the Portland Trailblazers are 24 games back. So there's some wacky stuff going on here. I want to take a look at the stats since clearly we're not performing. Kawhi Leonard is the one with the drop-off. Why is Kyle Lowry getting more field goal attempts? Okay, I think I found the problem here. Why did it switch off from Kawhi Leonard? Was that really the problem? Let's simulate 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's simulate the next 10 games. That's 4, 8. Okay, let's simulate the next 10 games and see if that made the difference. If that really was the difference, that I forgot to put Kawhi Leonard back. I already re-signed everybody, got Valanciunas back. So far, yes, that's a win. That's a win. I think that was the problem the entire time. That was the problem the entire time, that I had not put Kawhi Leonard as the #1 player for this team. So yeah, in those 10 games, we're 5-2 so far. 6-2. We beat Philadelphia. And so we went 8-2. That was the entire problem. And now Kawhi Leonard's up a point per game in scoring. Okay, there's the problem. That should be fixed now. So now we'll simulate, or actually let's just simulate through the rest of the season, because I do want to talk about this trade in real life. Kawhi Leonard, Danny Green to Toronto. Danny Green's a pretty good bench player. He's sort of dropped off since he got that contract. I think he sort of relaxed and hasn't really been proving. Well, he didn't really do much last year in the playoffs for the San Antonio Spurs. I'm talking, of course, when Kawhi was healthy. But I really don't know if Kawhi Leonard is going to play or not. I mean, he whined and complained this entire year. So why wouldn't he just complain and whine another year just so he wouldn't have to play and risk whatever faux injury he has? But here are the end of the year awards. Kawhi Leonard is on the NBA second team even after that whole debacle at the beginning of the season. 26-5, 2.5 steals and a block. I should have put him as the #1 scoring option. If we would have done that, we would have been fine. But look at that. Houston #3 seed. Denver with Michael Porter #2 seed. Isaiah and John Collins coming off the bench. We're going up against Boston with this incredible super team, which somehow was the 6th seed in the East. Kyle Lowry with 19-7, Valanciunas with 15-10. This is going to be a very tough first round series. Up 2-0, 2-1. I knew Boston would get at least one back at home. We're up 3-2, 3-3, and we get upset in the first round. That Boston team, though, they're bad. Brooklyn? Are you kidding me? Brooklyn and Orlando with Kenneth Faried and this team. Man, 2K is screwing around right now. But clearly, I think we may need to make a move. Brooklyn made it all the way to the finals somehow. Good for them. But we need to make a move this offseason. Kyle Lowry is getting older by the minute. We need someone to pair up with Kawhi Leonard now in his prime. Manu finally retires. But we need to figure something out. Kyle Lowry's an 88. He's on his last year of his contract. So I want to get something in return for him before he leaves. So I want to find a young guard who we can pair with Kawhi. I'm not seeing much. Chris Middleton. And we get Ilyasova coming off the bench. Or I could go with a big man. You know what? Let me put together a trade for a young guy, and I'll bring you guys back. So guys, I ended up trading Kyle Lowry for Chris Milton and a second-round pick. We're going to get a younger player, better scorer, not as good as a playmaker, but still another scorer to pair along with Kawhi Leonard. I like the deal. We get a younger player, and he's not on an expiring contract. So now we can go into this offseason not really having to do much. No, I do not want to decrease the shot clock. We all know what that happened. We all know what that does in these simulations. But Portland gets a number 2 pick. We get, where's our pick? The 26th. That's not really that important. Do I want to get a new coach? That is the question. I think I do. Let's go ahead and sign. Let's get Nate McMillan. Good offensive-minded coach. He could be pretty helpful for us. And hopefully they accept. There we go. Okay, new trainings, new coaching staff. We should be all good on that front. Okay, move on. Who do we get in the rookie signing? 73 overall shooting guard. I'll take it, especially for late in the first round. CJ Miles accepts, and we accept the options on all 3 of our youngins. Qualifying offers will extend one to DeLon Wright, and into free agency we have 0 cap room. Let me actually take a look. Do we have any major cap holds? Yes, Danny Green is one, and that automatically gets us $15 million back, and we still have $0 million to go. So we need to hold on to as many of these players as possible. And if we can just hold on to Lucas Nigger or DeLon Wright, we can honestly just reject Lorenzo Brown because he's not going to be that important to us. If we can hold on to those guys, then we should be able to just go into next season, not have to worry about much at all. Free agency, we get DeLon Wright, so we may need a backup center. Point guard, yes, we need a backup center. Actually, what would happen if I go by position? I move Ilyasova. We can just move Pascal Siakam, excuse me, to backup center, and we should be good. Player progressions, DeLon Wright goes up 3, Middleton goes up 3, even Kawhi is going up, so pretty happy about that. Malachi Richardson going up as well. So again, the bench depth is really, really good for this team. Let me go ahead and use our training camps, and we should be all set for the final season with the Kawhi Leonard Raptors. What a strange season. After going to the playoffs, Fred VanVleet, we go 35-47. Don't understand this. Kawhi had pretty much the exact same season as last year, except we weren't even close to making the playoffs for some reason. I do not understand it. I guess my trade for Chris Milton did not work out clearly, but that's on me. But either way, if Kawhi Leonard if they somehow get him to re-sign with Toronto, it would be one of the biggest steals in recent memory. But if not, Kawhi Leonard leaves after a year, the Raptors give up their star, their franchise centerpiece in DeMar Derozan. And we'll have to see how DeMar Derozan does. I'll be coming out with a rebuild for the Spurs and DeMar Derozan very soon, so be sure to stay tuned for that. But guys, that'll be all for today. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the San Antonio Spurs rebuild.